So we started the lesson on translations on the coordinate plane today, but we didn't really get it finished, so I'm making this recording. I'm going to go over the things that we did in class so we have a complete recording. So we started out with some vocabulary and just some ideas of how this is going to work. And I told you that transformations are like the last name, and translations is the first name. So a translation is a transformation, but not every transformation is a translation. So to start here, to transform a shape or figure means to change it. In general, we can change the size, location, and direction that a figure is facing. The shape or figure before the transformation is called the pre-image or original, and we might label it A. The shape or figure after the transformation is called the image or new figure. We would then label it A prime, and that's pronounced A prime, just as I said it. So remember to put that apostrophe after it, and that we read it as prime. A translation moves every point of a figure in the same direction and the same distance. A translation can move a figure left or right and or up or down. Translations are also thought of as slides, so we're sliding the figure. But I want you to use the word translations. Get used to that, but just understand that it's like a slide. It's sliding something. So in the first one, we needed to translate the figure 5 units left and 2 units down. And I showed you 2 ways to do that. One way is to look at, here's B, and so B prime, which I didn't write, B prime. B prime. It doesn't show up very good. Let's try that. Okay. We wanted to go 5 units left and 2 units down. So from here I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I go down 1, 2, and that puts me where we have our larger dot there. And that's our B prime. And then for A prime, we can do, well, one thing you could do, we did the same thing, is we just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2 to get to this point. But we could have said, how much do I have between here? So it goes through 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to go through 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's a little harder to do than some that are like a quadrilateral, 4-sided figure. That usually works better with that. So with C, we need to do the same thing. We need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left, 1, 2 units down, and that puts us at this point, C prime. And I didn't mark A prime over here. A prime. It's like my pen's running out of ink. Okay, so we started out, we had in our pre-image, A, the point A was at 2, 4, B was at 6, 7, C was at 7, 3. So the second way that I showed you was that if we want to go left 5 units from 2, we could take 2 minus 5. That would give us negative 3. And then we went down 2, so we'd take 4 minus 2, and that would give us the 2 here. And then do the same thing for each point. 6 minus 5 gives us 1. 7 minus 2 gives us 5. 7 minus 5 gives us 2. 3 minus 2 gives us 1. So you just have to be consistent, make sure you're getting the X with the X and the Y with the Y. We did another example here. We didn't get done with plotting it. We decided to move on to some practice, and the practice was on problem 4 on your work. So if you're viewing this recording and we're not in class, then please pull up your work and go ahead and try problem 4. Just move it. That particular one said 9 right and 9 up. So do the same thing that I just showed here. And then come back to the video. So over here in the next one, we had -7. We identified our points first. -7, x always comes first, remember, and then our y. So -7, -4 is our D. E is at -4 and +1 right here. And F is at -3, -5. -3, -5. Now this time I'm going to be moving 4 units right and 3 units up. So 4 units right, I can count. Let me get a color that hopefully will show up here. Oh, there, that's a good one. Okay, so this is my counting dots. So I'm going to go 4 units right, 1, 2, let me make that a little bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 units up. 1, 2, 3. And we want to try and get it on those crosshairs. And crosshairs just means where the, why is my iPad being so uncooperative? Oh, because I tapped on the wrong thing, that's why. We want to get our point that we actually put on there. Notice these are a little bit off, but we want to get it right there on the crosshairs. So that one is E prime. Ooh, now I got too big. Okay, let me put those on after we get done here. So let me erase these extra ones here, and then I'm going to do the same thing for F. I'm going to go 4 units to the right, 3 units up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Just double checking. And then I'm going to put my dot there. And that's F prime, and then D prime. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So I guess that's the one we started with there. And then we can connect our dots to make our figure. And it should look exactly the same size and shape as the one we started with when we're done. Now let me put in our points. I need a little smaller font there. So this is E prime, this is F prime, and this one is D prime. And so as not to be confused, let me get rid of these. That D prime goes over there. Now, I think problem 5 might also be similar, so if you want to pause and do that one. Oh, we didn't answer these questions down here, though. Look for any patterns and describe what happened to the x and y values in each ordered pair. They went 2 units left and 2 units down. That's all you'd really need there. How can we represent this algebraically? Okay, this is the important part. I have my original point x comma y, and it becomes, this is algebraically, it becomes x minus 5, because that's what we did, we subtracted 5, and 4, or y, sorry, y minus 2. That's algebraically. On this one, we have x comma y becomes, you have to have the arrow, becomes, and then it is x plus 4 comma y plus 3. I had to remember how much we shifted. Okay, let me make that 4 a little better. 4, there we go. Okay, so these are the same, 3 and 4 are the same as what we just did up there. And It asks, do they change size between the image and pre-image? And if we look back at the ones that we did, no, they don't change size. They stay the same. And that's the same thing here. We're just looking at the images are both drawn. Oh, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so notice the pre-image, you have to look. This one says prime, this one does not. So our pre-image is this figure. So H is at 2, -1. And I is at 5, -1. And J is at 5, -7. And G is at 2, -7. So then H prime, we're going to look at the other one now. And X component, remember, is first, so that's -5. And then our Y is up here at 3, +3. I, going around, so again I'm going to have that, I'm going to have the 3, but that's my Y. -2, 3. And then, oops, that's prime, make sure you put that on there. J prime is -2, -3. And G prime is -5, -3. So what we're looking at is how did it change? So on H, we were at 2 and we went to -5, so that's down 7. Oh, no, that's the X. That's left 7. Left 7. So let's see if it's the same here. 5 to -2, left 7. 5 to -2, 2 to -5. So on X, or X is left and right, so on X we go left 7. And then if we look at the Y component, we have -1 to 3. Well, that went up 4. -1 to 3 up 4. -7 to -3, that's up 4. And then again. So then our other part of it is up 3. Algebraic representation would be X comma Y becomes X -7 because it went to the left, and Y +3 because it went up. Okay, they're not changing size. They're just translated. So, translated. Same size. Okay, let me see what number that is on your work. Okay, I don't see that exactly on your work. On number 1, it asks a lot of questions. If you look at your homework, use the translation below to label the following statements as true or false. So the figure was translated from quadrant 1 to quadrant 3. Well, remember when you're looking at the coordinate plane, this is quadrant 1, and then we go around counterclockwise. Sorry, I'm trying to do it the wrong way. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the way your quadrants are numbered. Quadrants. And then it asks, the translation can be represented by x plus 8, comma, y plus 7. So you'll need to check and see if it's moving to the right 8 and up 7. The orientation of the figure did not change. That means that if on this one, if this tipped over, that would be changing the orientation. But the orientation on this did not change. And then it asks, the image and the pre-image are congruent. And if it's a translation, if all the points move the same distance, then it's still going to be congruent. The orientation of the vertices has changed. So that means if we look at this figure, I and I prime are in the same position. H and H prime are in the same position. Same with J and J prime and G and G prime. So if they're in the same position, then the orientation did not change. Okay, I'm not going to do that one. That's the same. Describe the translation. Okay, now this is the notation I've been showing you. Only we just use X and Y. So we want to change it. So if X equal 12 and Y equals 7, then we have to say, how did I get from 12 to negative 1? Well, 12 to 0, because this is negative, 12 to 0 would be 12, and then one more would be 13. So it's going left 13 units. And then from 7 to 14, well, that's going up in value, so that would be up, because Y is up and down, X is left and right. So up 7 units. Okay, let's do another one. We have X is equal to negative 6 and Y is equal to negative 8. So we look at negative 6 to negative 5. Well, negative 5 on the number line is to the right. So we're adding 1, so it's going to go 1 to the right. And then Y is negative 8 to 2, so that's also going up. So 8 plus 2, because we move 8 units up and then 2 more from 0. So that's 10 units up. And we have one more. And so here we have X equal negative 3 and Y equals 6. From negative 3 to negative 9 is we're going to the left on a number line. So that means we're going left, and there's a difference of 6 units between. So 6 units to the left. And then 6 to negative 1 is going down. So 6 units to 0 plus 1 more is 7 units down. And that is all for this lesson. So let me know as you're working. If you have any questions, send me an email.